We're here at the junket for The Conjuring 2, and I'm really excited to talk to some of the fine people behind this really, really cool and scary movie. What I liked about this film is I feel like it's a horror film within a bio film about these two people.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you balance that?
That was very important for me. Trying to kind of capture the the real life spirit of who the Warrens are or were, right? And because I feel like that helps me ground the movie in a space that that The Conjuring belongs in, and then from that it allows me to sort of jump off and create my sort of scary sequences. Because then I feel like my scary sequences are not just sort of cooked up from out of nowhere. They came from a foundation of truism, and that was very important for me because the Conjuring, the Conjuring movies needs it. It's different to the Insidious films where I can be larger than life.
Yeah, well, there's something about this film. There's one specific shot that I don't want to spoil necessarily, but you see him doing an investigation with his back turned.
Right, yes, yep.
The way you shot that is so compelling and so fascinating. Does the story, do you get inspired by the,
oh yeah,
and how you set up that shot?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, definitely. People, tell me that they love the camera work and the cinematography, and so much of what I do with my camera work has to be inspired by the story, and it's whatever best services the story, and so I felt because in the movie there were two sort of interview sequences, and so the first interview sequence where the documentary crew were interviewing the little girl, and that was shot more shot and edited more in the traditional sense, and so by the time I got to Ed Warren's interview with Janet Hodgson, I want to do it in a different way, and I want to do it in such a way where you're in the mindset with Ed as well, and all the other characters, because the characters' back are turned to the little girl, and so they don't actually see what's happening behind them, right? And so when I'm setting my shot up, I made sure the focus is on Patrick in the foreground, and so in the background, even though you think you can see something, you're not quite sure what you're seeing. And so that sense of vagueness is extremely important because it puts you in the same mindset as the characters.
Well, I think that's what makes these films work, is
Right.
the vagueness. It doesn't go over the top, and you are telling a real character story.
Yeah, and it wavers that fine line of like, especially Conjuring 2, because Conjuring 2 does, whereas the first Conjuring was a lot more cut and dry, meaning, it's like, oh, we see a ghost, that's exactly what it is. In this one, I'm playing more with the sense of whether or not this is a hoax or if it's not a hoax, and kind of like having a bit of that uncertainty just makes it feel like a different movie to the first one.
What brings you back to horror, and why especially something like this?
Well, I think the bottom line is I really love the world that I had created with the first Conjuring, and it's and it is so beloved by a lot of people as well, and so it felt like the right thing to do after Fast and Furious 7. Even though I kind of didn't really want to go back and make because I felt like I've done a fair bit in this genre already, and I'm ready to try other stuff. But the opportunity to come back and expand on this story, expand on this world, and to get to play with Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson again was I just couldn't say no to that.
You gotta do part 3. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure if it does well, I'm sure they'll do a third one. Yeah.
Right.